I love a good coffee, but I don't go to the supermarkets to buy beans, and I don't go to the local coffee shops to buy my coffees anymore. I make it a different way. I do it at home. I know when you pop to your local coffee shop, you can get a really great quality espresso based drink or any kind of coffee drink that you prefer to drink, and that's fine. But you could do it at home and not have to compromise on the quality. It all started for me when I bought a coffee machine for my home. It's just a small one. It has a built-in grinder and a steam wand, and I can make my favourite cup of coffee, a latte, whenever I want. If you go to your local supermarket, you'll find a whole range of different types of beans that they have there, whether they be their own brand, different from different countries, or whether they're from a larger main brand. But what I usually find with those is, for uniformity, they usually over roast their beans, and for me it just isn't good enough. So what I also did is I bought myself a coffee roaster and I started to roast my own beans. And how I got into that was doing exactly what you're doing here. I just found a YouTube video. Check out the virtual coffee lab. This guy will tell you exactly how to roast coffee, how to make it special, and make sure that you don't make beginner mistakes like a lot of us do when we first start new things. The supermarket beans, I usually find that they are over roasted, and I know that they do that for a reason. You know, they're built for something different. I like exceptional quality in my coffee, so I don't really like to go to the supermarket and buy beans, although I did used to do that when I first started making coffees at home with my coffee machine. Now when you go to your local coffee shop, you're going to find that you're paying somewhere between usually £3 and £5, euros, whatever your denomination currency is. Now I find that's a lot of money in this day and age, especially in the world that we live in today, where the cost of living is extremely high depending on where you live, and especially if you're in a big city, these things are really expensive. So doing it at home can actually reduce your costs. Now I have a coffee roaster and I have a coffee machine, so I can do all of it, and it doesn't cost me that much. I've worked out that it's probably somewhere between what used to be £3 and £5, somewhere between £1.50 and £3, which is a lot cheaper. And also, buying the beans online, I can source them from reputable dealers. I buy from somebody online who's very concerned with saving the environment and being economically friendly, and that's why I choose them. Also, roasting your own beans, you control the roast. You can make it as strong, or sorry, not strong, you can make it as dark or as light roasted as you prefer. I prefer a medium to dark roast, but some people like the floral and fruity notes, so they go a little bit lighter. But that's the beauty of it. You control it. It's your roast, your coffee, you do it your way. That's something you can't get in a coffee shop. You have to deal with the beans that they have. Although some coffee shops might have a load of ranges of different types of beans, they don't all, and they usually use a generic Java roast, which suits most people, and that's fine. It's mass appealing. That's what they're there for. But for me, I like to really fine tune my roasts and make them exactly how I want. And over the past 18 months, I've got that down to a fine art and know exactly what I want from my beans and how to roast the way I want them done. So, I live in the countryside now. I live in rural Ireland, and I don't drive. Yes, there are people in the household who do drive, but I'm not the kind of person to be saying, can you take me here, can you take me there? If I have to, I can ask my partner if she will take me to a supermarket or wherever it is that I need to go, and that's fine. But generally, I don't like to ask for help, so I do things on my own. Also, convenience is a talking point. So when you go to your coffee shop, yeah, it's very convenient. You don't have to do anything. You go in, hey, can I just get my usual latte, please? Thank you very much. You pay your money, you get your coffee, and you're out the door. But since buying raw coffee online, or green coffee beans as they say, I found that it's much cheaper, and it's actually much more convenient because they deliver it straight to my door. Yes, there's a time constraint. I have to roast it, and then I have to give it a couple of days before I can actually use those coffee beans to let them degas the excess CO2 out of them. But that's okay, I don't mind. I just roast a few days ahead of when I'm going to need them, and I know I'm good. And I get the beans at the peak, the absolute peak. Whereas when you go to the supermarket, those beans could have been on the shelf for months and months and months, and they're actually not that great anymore. I'm still very much a student of the craft, learning something new with every roast and every pour. Not having a car in rural Ireland meant I had to change my daily habits, but it's been so much better for my coffee and for my wallet. But I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever thought about roasting your own to be a bit more self-sufficient, or are you happy with your local coffee shop? Let me know in the comments and let's geek out and share stories. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.